hold up. Yo, if you're on Kick and all that, Facebook, YouTube, give me a second. We're gonna start. I'm gonna restart it. Come back. Better come back. I'm gonna fix the title. Kid Cudi takes the stand. Diddy blew up his car, supposedly. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna be here all morning reading tweets. Get lives, get set up, takes the stand. Gotta get started. Okay. Now, should we recap with Kaplan and then start with Kid Cudi? I'm almost thinking we should do a recap. It's gonna take a little while. Or you want to start straight out with Cudi? Maybe, or we could just start straight with Cudi. Saying in the chat. Let's do a quick recap. That shit will take like 5 minutes. Let's do a quick recap and then we'll start with Cudi. Ready? Okay, let's get Diddy on screen. Zoomed. Let's start it for today. We're going to do a quick little recap, and then we'll start with the live tweets of Kid Cudi. So they entered the courthouse. This was a little bit earlier, just an hour ago. And the presumed waiting for Kid Cudi to enter. The judge says, let's get Kaplan back on the stand. Where did you carry cash from Mr. Combs? Kaplan says $50,000 in his private jet. Did you pick up cash from Mr. Combs? Kaplan says $10,000 at Western Union for Combs' enterprises. How long or what long-term relationship with Mr. Combs were you aware of? Cassie, Kim, and Gina. And supposedly Gina's missing. I don't know. They're saying she's nowhere to be found. Who was Kim? The mother of his children. Cassie, girlfriend. Gina, another girlfriend. The jet flight to Las Vegas. What was the layout for the jet? Kaplan says 4 chairs, a partition. I had a lower partial view over my right shoulder. When you witnessed violence by Mr. Combs, Miss Ventura, why did you not intervene? My career. After the last glass breaking, what did Mr. Combs do? Kaplan says he came forward. Cassie stayed in the back. He asked me to get creams to conceal the bruising on her face. How did you pay for it? Corporate credit card. Why did you leave Combs' Enterprises? I didn't think I should be covering things up, like buying the witch, Hazel. Oh, okay. Also, my father had prostate cancer. Any violence? He threw things at Gina in the entryway of the main home on Star Island. Okay. What else we got? What was he throwing? Green apples. Okay. How hard? Very hard. Later took the medicine bag into the room. Mr. Combs wanted me to leave quickly. By the way, for those that don't know, Kaplan is like the former assistant for Diddy. We've already kind of been talking about this. He came back. They brought him in this morning. So, the medicine bag, Combs wanted me to leave quickly. Then what? I heard Gina at the gate and male voices. Who? Security. When you left, what did you do? I collected myself and then went to work for an integrated marketing firm. Cross-examination. So the defense says, why did you go to work for Mr. Combs' Enterprises? He was an incredible entrepreneur. I have learned from him. What did Brian do as COO? Ensuring profitability of each unit. I was an employee when Revolt TV launched. Defense says, tell me about it. We were on the 6th floor of 1710 Broadway. Everyone was there. It was momentous. Diversity was important to Mr. Combs. Kaplan says specifically for African Americans. What did Blue Flame do? Marketing for Ciroc. What is Diageo? Diageo. They own Johnny Walker and others. Mr. Combs set up a marketing entity for Ciroc. Your job, what was it? For example, Mr. Combs would say, we're going to leave the house. He meant 3 to 5 minutes. I had a checklist for the bags and toiletry. It was a bad look. It was a bad look in for me if something wasn't there. Okay, so you have this list. Everything has to be there or you're in trouble. Is there a binder near you? I can't read that. It says Southern District. I'm handing you something to refresh your recollection. Take a look at it as long as you want. You ran an off-site training, a graduate from Harvard Business School, also Kenny Burns. I remember. You were effective, right? I worked hard. I don't remember, or I don't know how you'll answer. Was it good or bad? He said complicated. He didn't need to yell at you when you brought 2 waters. I worked hard. Okay, who was Biggie? A huge rapper who unfortunately passed away. Wasn't Biggie's birthday a holiday at Combs' Enterprise? Yes. Was it a creative environment? Absolutely. It attracted all kinds of creative people, lawyers, musicians, advertising people. A few specific questions. You used a corporate credit card? Yes. How did Mr. Combs pay? KK held his wallet with a black Amex in it. You have no reason to think he kept track of how baby oil was paid for. No reason. Or applesauce. He loves applesauce. Ooh. Or on cheeseburgers. Defense smiles. On everything. So he eats applesauce on everything. You want to make Diddy happy? Applesauce it. Let's talk about the plane. You heard glass breaking, didn't you? You didn't see it? I didn't see it. The incident with Gina, you walk into the house, there's a thin table. I don't know. You don't remember how a person could get out of a gate at 2-Star Island? No, I just heard screaming and commotion. Screams of terror or how can I open this gate? I don't know how to distinguish between the two. He threatened your jobs, but did he physically threaten you? No. You talked about Kim Porter, how she was different. His respect for her. They had incredible kids. Thank you. When you set up a hotel room for Mr. Combs and Miss Porter, there was no baby oil, right? No, just lotions. You expressed caution about hotels. Why you cleaned the room afterward? Hotel staff could sell photos. Everyone wants a payday. You sent him a photo of him and Kim Porter after she died. I was heartbroken for him. You were close. I invited him to my wedding. I didn't hear back. Damn! Objection! Surprised looks. You didn't hear back from him? Damn, Diddy? Did him like that? You respected him, yes. What's this photo of? Me, KK, Mr. Combs at Teterboro Airport. He just got the jet. That's why there was champagne. You're happy there, right? No, refresh it. It's that I was glad I had found the mascara in the back seat. They found you and subpoenaed you. I had to retain counsel right away. No further questions. Redirect. Which incident shook you? The plane with Cassie and the apples with Gina. I felt guilty I didn't do anything after the incident with Cassie on the plane. But you didn't see any injuries. The people can be injured without injuries being visible. The tonality and tension with the apples he threw at Gina, it was troubling. You told Ms. Coram about both incidents. Yes, I told her I'm unwilling to stand behind the behavior that I was quitting. Did Christina say she would quit? No. How long did she stay after you told her? Until recently. Okay, we're caught up. Kid Cudi time. Y'all ready? Oh, sorry. Let me turn down the volume a little bit. Kid Cudi time. Cudi takes the stand. Oh, man. Next witness, we calls Scott Miss Cudi. He takes the stand in a leather jacket, white shirt, and blue jeans. What did you do for work? I'm an actor and a musician known as Kid Cudi. Who is this? He shows a photo. It's Cassie. We dated in 2011. Who else was she involved with? Mr. Combs. What did you know about their status? That she and Sean Combs had some problems and they weren't dating anymore. In December 2011, did law enforcement respond to your home? Cudi says, yes. I had a break-in. Cassie called me at 5:30 or 6 in the morning. She said Sean Combs had found out about us. She asked me to pick her up, so I did. Yeah? Why? She was worried. What was her demeanor? Very stressed and worried. Where did you go? The Sunset Marquise. Why? I thought it was safe, off the radar. Who else did you speak with? Capricorn Clark. She sounded near tears. What did she say? That Sean Combs in a car near my house. Damn. Brian Steele says, objection, overruled. So Sean was at the house. Sean Combs in the car near my house. Yo, he's pulling up. Diddy don't play, man. Prosecution says, you called Sean Combs? I did. He said, I'm over here waiting for you. When you arrived, what did the outside look like? Pretty normal. Any security cameras? Yes, but I found out they weren't working. Oh, snap. But the security cameras had been moved. Did you move them? No. What did you see inside your home? Gifts were open. Some stuff I got from Chanel. And my dog was locked up in the bathroom. Oh, snap. So did he go inside the house? Did he send people inside? When you arrived, what did the outside look like? Pretty normal. Security cameras weren't working. Any security cameras? Yes, but I found out they weren't working. Is he talking about his security cameras? Or Diddy's? But the security cameras had been... Oh, the security cameras had been moved. Did you move them? No. Damn, Diddy's moving like that, like the mafia. He had the cameras moved around? Oh! Diddy was about to get popped? Did you move them? No. What did you see inside your home? Gifts were open. Some stuff I got from Chanel, and my dog was locked up in the bathroom. Wow. Here's Scruffy. Here's Scruffy. Hey, come here, Scruffy. They got him in the bathroom, locked him up. How did you usually leave your dog? I let him roam. How long had you had your dog? 3 years. What changes were behavior of your dog after the break-in? Jittery, on edge all the time. What did they do to the dog? Did they drug the dog? Why was the dog on edge? Ugh. I got back in and called Sean Combs again. I was looking for him. I wanted him to fight. Wait, I got back in. I called Sean Combs again because at this point he's pissed, I guess. I was looking for him. I wanted to fight him, you know. Did he answer? Yeah, he said, I'm on my way. I thought to myself, objection, the defense says. Grounds, non-responsive, overruled. He was answering. Damn, Diddy's moving like the mafia, yo. It's crazy. He's about to put a hit on him. Wow. Asking you a question, the judge says. When you saw Cassie, how did she seem? Depressed. Did you see Cassie in Connecticut? Yes, she needed it. Did Mr. Combs call you? Yeah, he hit me a few times. Hit? Called me. Yeah, it's good. They got to clarify that. That means call. Wow. We got to get some of the... let me check the other reporters real quick. Damn, bro. Diddy's coming out as like some crazed, jealous, obsessive, insecure, tootsie roll itty bitty, can't get it itty up, so he got to watch in the corner while his girl gets, you know, oh, God. Oh. Wow. Let me show the video real quick too. Where is it at? There's a video. Oh, by the way, Brian Steele, the defense. I guess they asked him what kind of music he listens to. He said, every day when I come into court, I listen to Young Thug.
We gotta put it out there, right?
This is a gangster ass attorney, man. He should be wearing a bulletproof vest.
What's on your playlist? How do you get pumped up in the morning? What are you listening to?
That Young Thug.
Jeffrey Williams all day long.
Hey, he loves that.
Get this man some dreads. We need some dreads on him.
Have a good day at work.
Damn. And then Kid Cudi was seen walking in court. Let me see Kid Cudi. Kid Cudi's trending right now. Whoa. That was him this morning with a cigarette. Here's the video.
Hold up, let me get my crystal lake.
Honey, are you nervous to test drive today? What are you expecting today? You look great.
You look great.
I love the fit, not too serious.
Pull out for Cudi.
Damn, bro. Kid Cudi. Okay. Let's see if we got anything yet. Here we go. What did you say? So we left off at, well, he called him a couple of times. He saw Cassie was depressed. What did you say? That I didn't want to talk with him. He broke into my house, hurt my dog. So they did something to the dog. That's it, bro. He lost the jury. Forget it, bro. All this abuse, beating people, scarring, throwing shit. Okay, maybe some people could pass at that. But the dog? You hurt the dog? Oh, forget it. All bets are off. He's guilty on all the charges. Forget about it now. And what did he do to the dog? Oh, man. Did they beat the dog? Did they drug him? I don't know. What did they do to that dog? The dog traumatized that dog. Damn, Diddy's callous. So, what did you say? I didn't want to talk to him. He broke into my house, hurt my dog. Did you and Miss Ventura break up? Yes. What about your car? My dog's babysitter called me and told me my car was on fire. Oh, man. Shh. Where were you? At a relative of my ex-girlfriend. Where did you go? To my house, 8925 Hollywood Hills. Let me show you 6 pictures. Do you recognize? That's my Porsche. Wow. Wow. That's crazy, dude. So, Cudi said Cassie told him she didn't know what Combs would do. Ventura spoke on the phone with another Combs employee, Capricorn Clark, on speakerphone, who told Cassie and Cudi that Combs was at Cudi's home. Clark sounded very scared. She was forced to go along with them over. She was in the car outside my house waiting. Damn, bro. This is fiery. Let's see what else we got. Kid Cudi recalled how angry he was when Combs allegedly broke into his home. He said, "What's up?" I said, "Mother effer, are you in my house?" He said, "I'm here waiting for you." Kid Cudi testified. Wow. That was beef. Going to war over a woman. right, let's see what else. So he was showing a picture of his car. 6 pictures, my Porsche lit up the car. That's crazy, dude. How far are you willing to go for love? I love her. It's the love of my life. I'll burn you down. Okay. That's the damage to my Porsche from the Molotov cocktail. Who took these photos? Chip, a good friend and collaborator. What's depicted here? The hole they cut in the roof of my car to put the Molotov cocktail in. Damn, these boys. Wow. And Cassie probably liked it. You really do love me. You're willing to do anything for me. You know, women are like that. Oh, you really love me. Wow. Oh, man. What a mess. See, we gotta get those photos, too. Kid Cudi says he ignored Combs' text after the alleged break-in. I guess he was in the dark about things and wanted to talk, but at that point, post-break-in, I didn't want to talk. You broke into my house, you messed with my dog, I don't want to talk to you. We're beyond talking after that. He was willing to talk to me. You want to know what's going on? You want to see whatever, we can talk. But then now that I see you went into my home, allegedly broke in, messed with my dog. I don't know what you did to the dog. You turned the security cameras around and you lit my car on fire. Talking's over. Kid Cudi said that after that, he returned to his home. He called Sean Diddy Combs again and asked where he was. Combs said he was on his way. I wanted to confront him. I wanted to fight him. Kid Cudi said then he decided to call the police. He recalled thinking at the time, I don't know who he has with him. I don't know what his intentions are. He said he filed a police report about that day and the apparent break-in. Smart, makes sense. Diddy's like, yeah, let's meet up. Sure, let's meet up. Jury sees photos of Kid Cudi's car after it was damaged in a fire in 2012. The dog watcher called him from his home to tell him that the car was on fire. He said that he was at his ex-girlfriend's sister's house at the time, 45 minutes away. His friend sent him photos of the damaged car in his driveway before he got there. He said the jury is now reviewing the photos. On the witness stand, Kid Cudi described the photo as the damage of a Molotov cocktail in my Porsche. It looks like the top of my Porsche was cut open. Bro. He's done. Diddy's done. I don't know. What was your reaction to the car being set on fire? What the fuck? Objection, judge says overruled. Wow. Damn, bro. Wow, that's just wild. Wild, wild. The diddler strikes again. Trial has begun. Let's see. Explosive testimony. Literally, figuratively. No, and judge break. Okay, they're taking a break. Damn. Woo! Kid Cudi, we need the 411, baby. They're taking a break right now. Where's who's that? Tisa Loves, Tisa Tells. Oh shoot, hold on. Oh, we got some other news to do later too. Damn, it's gonna be a busy day. Oh, I got something for us later too. Okay. It's gonna be busy. Okay. I wonder if she's gonna go live. It's gonna be busy today. Oof.
Blow up Kid Cudi's car, and then he wanted to ensure that Kid Cudi was home with his friends when it happened. Around that time, Kid Cudi's car exploded in his driveway. So now we have that allegation, and we have the mention of arson in the indictment. But then we go to the government's bail letter that they filed with the court. They were advocating that Combs be denied bail. He has been twice. And they allege, quote, in the early morning hours of December 22nd, 2011, the defendant and a co-conspirator kidnapped an individual at gunpoint to facilitate breaking into and entering the residence of Individual 1. By the way, Individual 1 is not named, but we'll get to that. Multiple witnesses would testify at trial to the events surrounding the kidnapping and break-in, the latter of which is corroborated by police reports and other records. Approximately 2 weeks later, the defendant's co-conspirators set fire to Individual 1's vehicle by slicing open the car's convertible.
Oh, so we're going to go down a whole Kid Cudi art. Remember, it says multiple witnesses would testify at trial to the events. So supposedly there was a kidnapping.
Wow, he's done. There's a kidnapping? He's done.
Now, once we see co-conspirator, we got to think that person's flipping on Diddy too. They kidnapped an individual at gunpoint. So Diddy and somebody who had a strap put a gun to somebody, kidnapped him to get into Kid Cudi's crib. Okay? They get up in Kid Cudi's crib, and then essentially they put a dog in the fucking thing. They open all the gifts. They kind of vandalize it a bit, just to kind of send Kid Cudi a message like, nigga, you know we could come get you anytime.
Yeah, we got your ass.
2 weeks later, the defendant's co-conspirators, and you know what I think is gonna happen? The people who Diddy had set fire to this shit, they're gonna get immunity and tell on Diddy. Look, defendants co-conspirators, because they know who it is. Co-conspirators, they know who. Because they would, if they didn't know, they'd be like, "Oh, the defendant," or they would have accused him. Says the defendant co-conspirators set fire to Individual 1, which is Kid Cudi's vehicle, by slicing open the convertible top and dropping a Molotov cocktail inside the interior.
Convertible top and dropping a Molotov cocktail inside the interior. Police and fire department reports extensively document the arson and conclude that the fire was intentionally set. Multiple witnesses would also testify to the defendant bragging about his role in destroying Individual 1's car. Hence why we can make the argument that they are referencing Kid Cudi. This echoes Ventura and the indictment. Actually, I should say that while this mirrors Ventura's description of events, she said this happened slightly later than when prosecutors say it happened, about a month or so difference. But putting that to the side, Kid Cudi actually responded to Ventura's claims in the lawsuit. His representatives told the New York Times back in November, when this suit was filed, this is all true. Mark Agnifilo, a lawyer for Mr. Combs, said there is no allegation that Mr. Combs was involved in these actions or directed anyone else to take them. It's clear the government doesn't know who set fire to the vehicle or how it relates to Mr. Combs, who denies any involvement. Hey, by the way, thank you so much for coming to us for our Sean Combs coverage. We really isn't.
Well, it's kind of a science. Well, it actually is a science. You have to take each step of the investigation.
So this is the arson investigator. By the way, we're on a slight break. Hopefully they come back soon. They haven't came back yet. All right, we're waiting.
That's crazy, man. So there might be other people coming forward to testify, co-conspirators, people come forward about this thing about the blowing up the car. And I believe it. I believe the car situation. It's not looking good for Diddy. If all these people are afraid and he makes good on his threats and these people are there witnesses and knowing what this guy does, you know? I don't know, man. I don't know, bro. Woo! How you gonna fight this? You can get all the lawyers in the world.
Maybe even evaluate whether or not an accelerant such as gasoline or acetone or something is used to accelerate the fire. And then you might look for devices. You might look for Molotov cocktails, as you mentioned earlier. But that process is the investigative scene examination process. And then you have to take that information you've gathered and you develop your hypothesis on how that incident may have occurred. So outside of that, then you start collecting information from interviews, from video footage that might be at or near the fire incident. And then you might collect things like fingerprints or something that would leave, maybe DNA or something like that, something that would connect the crime to a person.
So when I mention in this case that the government has these fire records and they feel pretty confident to show what they pertain it to show, what would these fire records show to a jury if they're presented in a court of law?
Well, just as I mentioned, the records would identify the process of which they conducted their investigation. In a courtroom, attorneys understand the guidelines for fire investigations. So if their case is weak or if they're feeling a little bit threatened by the progress of prosecution, then they start picking apart the actual investigative process. And they will take it line by line, item by item. They'll challenge every aspect of the investigation. And then they may even start picking apart the qualifications of the fire investigator. So that is why it's so important to try, as an investigator, to try your best to follow the provisions outlined, the standard of care, I call it, of NFPA 921, which is the guide to fire and explosion investigations. And then also make sure that your credentials are solid. You have to have continued training and certification. So that's kind of what you would expect to see in those reports.
Do you have any concern that this is from 2012, right? That's a long time ago. Would that change anything about these records? Would it change? I mean, obviously, if you're talking about a fire investigator coming on the stand, like any witness, you're dealing with something that's from so long ago. There could be memory issues. But in terms of the fire records from so long ago, anything we should be thinking about there?
Well, as long as the fire investigator conducted his investigation in accordance with the guidelines, provided that investigator, whoever that may be, is qualified to conduct that investigation, a record is a stamp in time, if you will. The facts don't change unless the investigator, and I do this with my reports, is I leave it open-ended. So if additional information should come forth that may change the outcome or change the direction of the investigation, the investigator has the ability to add a provision or a clause within that report to say, upon further investigation or additional information, I have the right to change my opinions or enhance my opinions. Right. So I think the report, as it sits, is fine unless an investigator has additional information they may have collected.
So when I'm laid out the facts as alleged by the prosecution and as alleged by Cassandra Ventura, and you're talking about allegedly a Molotov cocktail being used to blow up this car, what do you expect prosecutors will do to show that this happened? Can they prove that it was intentional? How can they prove that a Molotov cocktail was used?
Well, the evidence of the Molotov cocktail being in the vehicle and the slash of the roof is evidence that a suspicious fire or an intentional fire has occurred. So that information is pretty solid. And then you have to start looking for intent. Why was this even done? Was it an act of revenge? Was it an insurance fraud situation? that you have to kind of figure out what was going on. So you have, when you do your interviews, you have to ask the questions, when were the last payments made on your vehicle? Or are you upside down in the car? You have to kind of weed out all of the things that may be on the sidelines. And then you just kind of focus your attention on, okay, have you had any recent threats? Have you had any phone calls that may have been made that threaten you or your friends or your family? And then you start honing in on motive. And, arson, there are several different types of motives: arson for profit, revenge, crime cover-up, that type of thing. So as an investigator, you have to begin to weed through all of those potential motives and have to hyper-focus your investigation on who did this? Who are the suspects? Who are the players in this potential arson crime? And once you do that, you start asking the questions. It's no different than a detective seeking out information with regard to a homicide or something like that. So you have to be able to ask the appropriate questions. It sounds like with the reports that I'm reading is that the investigators have gone down that path, and they have a lot of confidence that they have their person.
Just to follow up on this, though, how confident can you be that it was, a Molotov cocktail? Why do I say that? I imagine defense attorneys will say,
if it was
you're saying it's Molotov
like a
cocktail.
Mistake.
We can prove it's something else. Maybe we can
Tomatoes,
prove it was not intentional. And if we can even if we can't prove it was not intentional, if we can say it was caused by something other than a Molotov cocktail, it's kind of a chip at the prosecution's case, right? If you can provide an alternative explanation. So how can they be confident that they can say, again, that it was intentional, it was a Molotov cocktail? Is that, if they're painting themselves in that way, right, and that's what seems to be, is that they have to feel confident that that was what it was. The fire investigator has to feel confident that that was what it was. What are some telltale signs that, again, it was intentional and a Molotov cocktail?
Well, the first thing you do, whether you have a container to carry, a Molotov cocktail basically is a container with some form of a fabric, or we call it a fuse, that the container is holding whether a gasoline or some form of a flammable liquid. So we know that we have the flammable liquid, and a flammable liquid is really not supposed to be inside of a vehicle. So you have that element that there is something foreign that has been introduced to the interior of the vehicle, and that can be determined by the use of an arson dog or canine. They go in and they identify areas that an accelerant may have been used, and at that point you collect lab samples, you collect seat cushions, carpeting, whatever, and then you send that off to a lab for further examination, and they make a determination what type of accelerant it is. So that kind of, you set that aside, going, well, we have an accelerant inside of a car, and then you start looking for fragments of a bottle. And if you can even piece together some form of a container that's been thrown in the vehicle, that helps. But ultimately, the gasoline inside the vehicle is not a normal thing. So you've got the element of an arson just in the fact you have gasoline in the car. So,
right.
I think that may be where they're going with this, even if somebody says, well, it wasn't a Molotov cocktail, which is another charge, actually, because it's a device that's been constructed for the purpose of setting a fire. So there's a separate charge with that.
Those would be state charges, right? I mean, this is more of part of an overall federal racketeering case. I do want to ask you this. You mentioned DNA. That perked my ears up. Is it possible that, given the description I laid out, that DNA could be present in that car? To the extent, obviously, Kid Cudi's DNA would be in the car, right? It's his car. But the idea of knowing who allegedly was operating this Molotov cocktail, what are the chances you get DNA from that?
Well, the chances, in reality, the chances are fairly slim. But in certain cases, DNA has proven to be very helpful, such as a discarded cigarette, or maybe some gloves that have been left behind at the scene, or maybe the container that was used to carry the gasoline to the scene. All
right, enough of that, man. Is it back or not? Let's get to the shit. Here we go. I think the break should be over. Oh, the break's still going on? Says, shit, I understand why Kid Cudi was smoking before he jumped on the stand. Let's fucking go, bro. Damn, we're still on a break.
Was not handled with gloves. It might have just been somebody's raw fingers that are on this thing, and which is transferring DNA. So there's different transporting of DNA to a scene. So if you can get that from something, whether it be a door handle or whatever it might be, that's something that investigators would consider. Whether it's successful or not, it just depends on how cunning the arsonist is and how protective they are of the DNA, what's left behind. So that's kind of where I would see it to be helpful.
So, Robert, thank you so much for coming on. I mean, I thought this was fascinating. As this case progresses and maybe more details come to light about this specific incident, I would love to have you back on. Real quick, tell everybody what your background is and also where they can find you now.
Well, not to bore everybody, but I started out as a firefighter. I worked for the city of Downey for many years. And during that time of being a firefighter, I promoted up to a captain level. And I actually ran the arson division in the city of Downey. I worked with a lot of the surrounding cities. They considered it the Area E group, which involved Compton and Santa Fe Springs and a couple other surrounding cities. And we would share our expertise and our time to help each other. So I was exposed to quite a few fire scenes, very interesting fire scenes. Right. And now as a private for PyroCop, I've traveled all over the country. I've been to many different types of fires, and I love it. I love this work. It's a great career, and I have no complaints whatsoever.
Is that a fire symbol on your shirt?
Yeah, it's the little PyroCop looking at a fire.
Yeah. All right, man. Oh, look at that.
All right. Okay. So Kid Cudi's job. Okay, bet we're back. So before juries are back, will you finish with the witness of today? AUSA says through the cross of Mr. Kaplan is 3 times longer than we thought. So I guess they had scheduled witnesses. They're basically saying we don't know if we're going to get to all 6. So they're on the second. They might not get to the other 4. And AUSA asked Kid Cudi, was the damage of your car present before the call from the dog sitter? So basically, before you were alerted that the car's on fire, did the damage you witnessed, because he never saw the car on fire, when you went back and seen that car, was it like that? And Kid Cudi says no. AUSA says, did you think it was accidental or intentional? He said, I definitely thought it was intentional. AUSA says, where did you last see Ms. Ventura? He says, at Soho House. I'd reached out to Sean Combs and says, let's talk. This is getting out of hand. Yo, Kid Cudi. Yo, Kid Cudi, pure pussy.
Oh, no.
That nigga blow up your car. He break in your house. He throw your little funky-ass dog in the bathroom and shut it. And fucking, you're like, yo, bro, let's talk. Yo, Kid Cudi's the worst type of nigga.
Oh.
In this life, I think you either a gangster or you're a civilian. If you're a civilian, when niggas do shit to you, you should call the police. That's just how it goes. If you gangster, or you feel like you street, or you feel like, oh, I don't do police, you should go step and handle your business yourself. Kid Cudi's what I just call pure pussy. He don't want to pick a side because he want to be seen like he's like, maybe it's a hip-hop thing. Oh, I ain't going to call I would have been called the cops on Diddy. Diddy would have been under the jail, nigga. What the fuck? It's either you going to slide on Diddy and pistol whip him, like you got to go kidnap, like, nigga, I would have kidnapped his cat, his zebra, his fucking chimpanzee, his elephant, nigga. Nigga, all right, if we going tit for tat, nigga, I'm breaking into Star Island. But Kid Cudi not like that. You know what I mean? So it's like, why don't you go to the cops? I hate when non-gangster niggas who ain't going to retaliate in a gangster way just play bitch and don't do nothing.
We can't all be gangster.
Like, oh no, I'm just trying to save my reputation. Nigga, nobody think you about to do anything anyway. You a hoe.
Damn, that's dirty.
You should have went to the cops.
He did go to the cops though, but he didn't read. There's an article that said supposedly he did go to the cops. But so they come back from the break, and they're talking here about the jurors are back. Will you finish this witness today? The prosecution says yes, though the cross of Mr. Kaplan was 3 times longer than we thought. The prosecution again is slamming kind of the defense and being like they're taking too long. They get all the time in the world, but when it comes to the defense, you gotta be really quick and get out of here, you know? Just like the same thing with Cassie. You gotta hurry up. So the jury enters, and prosecution says, was the damage to your car present before the call from the dog sitter? No. Do you think it was accidental or intentional? Intentional. Where did you last see Miss Cassie? At the Soho House. I reached out to Sean Combs and said, let's talk. This is getting out of hand. And then Combs' attorney, Brian Steele, says, can we have a sidebar? Do you have an objection? Yes. Sustain, disregard, move on. Who set up the meeting at Soho House? D-Rock and my manager. What was Mr. Combs doing? Standing there like a Marvel super villain. Wow. There was some laughter. Cudi says, he said we were homies. You know that is my girl. Maybe he said, I thought we were homies. You know that is my girl. What do you say? I thought you had broken up. Then Sean Combs offered me water. Never drink the water. Combs offering water? Hell no. Don't drink it. That Diddy water. Twice. Sean Combs offered me water twice. Come on, man. Take the water. It was weird. Sean Combs being so calm. What did Cassie say? That we have fallen in love. Things happened. What did you say to Mr. Combs? What about my car? He said, I don't know nothing. I don't know what you're talking about. I walked away. You don't know what I'm talking about? And what was when Cassie said that we have fallen in love, things happen? Who was she saying that she fell in love with Cudi or Puffy? And did she told that to Puffy? We're in love. She's trying to get Cudi killed. She wants to see how far Diddy will go.
Yo, Kid Cudi going through it. Shout out to my nigga Kid Cudi, but he going through it, bro. Kid Cudi going through it. Kid Cudi going through it. Kid Cudi going through it, bro. Nigga say go to the meeting. This nigga Sean Combs sitting there just like probably with like his glasses low with a toothpick in his mouth looking like a fucking supervillain. Offered him water twice. He said he was like, bro, I thought y'all broke up. That nigga said, yo, you know we cool, but that's my bitch. That bitch, mine.
Damn.
Oh, man. And Cassie got to sit. Yo, I ain't gonna lie. That's kind of gangster. Yo, let me have a meeting with this nigga who been fucking you or trying to fuck you. Well, actually was fucking her. And you gonna sit here and let me son this nigga, and he gonna sit here and get sunned and then leave. Did you see Mr. Combs later? A few years later at Soho House, he said, I'm just sorry for all that bullshit. I was surprised, so I found peace with it. AUSA says no further question. All right, Brian Steele, it's time to drop 35.
Okay, I'm excited. The cross examination. What do they have for Mr. Cudi? Are they going to tear him apart? They got to tear it apart, man. Kid Cudi describes the break-in after Sean Combs discovered their relationship. He said, motherfucker, you're in my house. I just want to talk to you. Combs calmly responded. Wow. Let me take a look at this real quick here, too. Let's see. Kid Cudi reached out to Combs after the car fire. He testifies. The last time Cudi saw Cassie was at a private club in Los Angeles a few days after his car was damaged in a fire in 2012. He reached out to Sean Diddy Combs after the car fire and finally told him we needed to meet up and talk. Cudi testified. He had been wanting to talk to me, so after the fire, I was like, this is getting out of hand. I need to talk to him. So Cudi reached out to him after all this shit to try to have some type of conversation. Diddy likes his cheeseburgers with applesauce. Disgusted jurors learn. I guess they were disgusted. Some people said they liked that. Sean Combs bizarrely puts applesauce on his cheeseburgers. Disgusted jurors learn. Preference for applesauce-laden burgers has come up twice this week. It's his kink. Applesauce, asked Mr. Combs' lawyer. Mr. Combs loves applesauce, and he eats it on the side or the top of a lot of things. He got an applesauce thing. Cheeseburgers being one of them. His world was the size of the earth. He was doing business all over the world. The eccentric applesauce burger pairing also came up on Tuesday as David James, another Combs' former assistant, testified about this time working with a hip-hop star. I own applesauce, son. I love applesauce. Mr. Diddy, here's your applesauce, Diddy. Mr. Diddy. Okay, let's see. It's time. So, defense has started. Brian Steele says, I want to ask you some questions about your Porsche in 2022. Oops. Got corrected by Cudi. 2012. Already slipping up, Brian Steele. I apologize. You get a call about damage to your vehicle. Any surveillance footage or photos? Cudi says, no. My dog's babysitter did send me pictures of the damage. The defense says, the DNA taken, are you aware it came back being a female? Objection, no foundation, sustained. Oh, who's the female? Did he have a female do it? Do you know there were DNA results? Judge says, I'll allow that. No, I didn't know that. I didn't know there were DNA results. Steele says, Miss Cassie told you it was over. We just stopped talking, Cudi says. You told this honorable court and this jury that she played you. Cudi said, yeah. Cudi was jilted. Was he jilted? I'm telling you, everybody wanted Cassie, not just Diddy. The escorts were catching feelings. The side pieces were catching feelings. Wow. Everybody wanted some Cassie. Pork chops and applesauce. Damn. We just stopped talking. You told the court that she played you. She played you and you had no clue. No clue. Damn, bro. Damn. Damn, man. Cudi going out hard. Tough.
Brian Steele, you gotta drop. Yo, Brian Steele, you can't fumble this shit like the Knicks. You got actually fuck 35. We need a 50-point game. Brian Steele. Brian, we need 35 from you, boy. Yo, this nigga Kid Cudi showed up to court to basically
right after Diddy's former personal assistant, George Kaplan, is done. Kaplan said he picked up drugs not once but twice for Diddy in Miami and Los Angeles. He also testified that Diddy threatened his job pretty much on a regular basis. Earlier in the day, we heard from psychologist Dawn Hughes.
Damn. Now let's see. So they're trying to poke holes with the car. Let's see what else. Somebody said plot twist. Cassie was trying to make Puffy jealous and did Cudi dirty. Imagine Cassie. Yo, imagine Cassie's the one that lit the shit on fire. Huh? That would be crazy. Imagine it was Cassie. Cassie. Everyone wants Cassie because she was a freak and do freaky stuff. She do everything you want. Applesauce. Astroglide. refresh. Plot twist. That would be crazy, man. He just blew up her car, her boyfriend's car. He extorted her mama. She was fearful. LOL. What do you mean? He did. That's true. He did extort the mama. Then for $20K, he did extort. Was it 20? I think it was 20. Maybe Cassie extorted her own mother. No, I'm just kidding. Oh my god. All right, waiting for an update. Ooh.
Somebody. And if Kid Cudi says he felt played, he probably feel that he was genuine about trying to get with her while she was just trying to make Diddy
jealous. Yeah, maybe, yeah. He was just another part to the puzzle. It was just a little cog in the machine.
Okay.
It's just being used. Damn, bro. Let's do a refresh. Come on, in the city press. I know they got to be saying something in there. Steel. Okay, let's see. Still waiting. No clue. DNA results. They're saying the results are in. Female DNA. Tell me more. Who do you have do the job? He made Capricorn Clark do it. Rare L. Brian Steele. YSL Steele. Get him. What happened to the reporter? They cut him off? Steele. Finally, you got some type of update. In 2011, you went on tour. Yes. 65 locations, question mark. Yeah. At that time, Sean Combs was an icon, fair to say? Yes. You and Cassie had a sexual relationship. Objection! Sorry, Fred. Sidebar. Why is that crazy? Why can't you bring that up? Prosecution got upset, called sidebar. Oh. Cassie. It's almost lunch break, isn't it? Objection. Oh, Fred. It's hard to get comfortable. There's not space on here. Not asleep. Diddy. Bunch of stuff happening today.
Still outside the front of the courtroom. Holy shit. Remember the last person said that.
After sidebar, Mr. Steele, can I judge? So Cudi says, Mr. Steele, can I judge? Says, no, you can do that on redirect. So Steele says, do you want to tell me something? Cudi says, Sean Combs asked me about doing a song with Cassie in 2010. Steele says, thank you. So what does it have relevance? Sean Combs asked me about doing a song with Cassie in 2010. Imagine that. What the hell? Diddy is such a narcissist. So this after? Oh no, this was before. Hold on. It was before. They asked him to do a song. Okay. The car fire was January 2012.
Hi, everyone.
Man, I wish this courtroom was live feed. This shit should have been live on YouTube. I know, man. This is crazy how they're not going to have this live. Defense got Cudi to flip, it seems. I don't think so. You think so? Diddy hired Cudi to do music with Cassie, and apparently they started a relationship from that. Oh, is that how it started? Maybe. Okay. Maybe that's what he's saying. No, it wasn't. He reached out to Cassie in 2010. Cassie didn't get with Cudi till 2012. Okay. Well, I don't know what the point of that was. To mention this. The Diddler. Freaky Fridays. Come on. This is killing me, man. That's why I can't sit here all day with this shit. Let's go. Oh, they're gonna do a press conference. Ooh, we got so much to do today, man. Bro. Let me see. Let me line them up for what we gotta do later. This. Holy moly. We're gonna be lit today. Okay, there's an update. Combs, Steele. You believe they left your front door unlocked? Yes. No forced entry? No. Steele, just presence open, door in the bathroom. I'm not belittling, just asking. You called Sean Combs? Yeah. He was calm? Yes. So he's trying to, like, kind of take away from the experience. So he broke into your home, or they broke into your home, and all they did was open some presents? And the dog was inside? And he was calm with you? Did Cudi wear a dress to court? I know, right? He should have. That would have really set a statement. He should have wore a dress. Oh. They saw them dresses and purses homie got from Chanel. Yo. Closet wardrobe, half of it dresses and stockings and heels and shit. The defense is trying to say the burglary wasn't Diddy. It was a random home invasion. Oh, the narrative could work for now, but it won't once Capricorn Clark, Lauren London's sister, takes the stand and says that she and Diddy were at his home. Oof. If she comes and takes a stand, Capricorn Clark, oh. Ooh. Capricorn. Yes, I'm a Capricorn. That's my name. So? You went to see him. You didn't think he had a gun. I couldn't call it. You're a strong person. That's how you categorize yourself, right? Question. Yeah. This crossed the line. Miss Cassie told you she was abused. Yes, she did. Okay. So no forced entry. So you left the doors open. Or you believe they left your front door unlocked? Yes. No forced entry. No. Just presence opened the door in the bathroom. Not belittling. He was calm, yes. You're a strong guy, aren't you? Brian Steele. It's on X, Cindy. Twitter. The world of Twitter. Okay, waiting for some updates. I don't know what time to take lunch. Is it like 12 usually? 12, 12:30? Diddy. Did he do it? Is he gonna walk away scot-free? Or really be in trouble? Will he be locked away for life? 10, 15 years?
These
Yeah. Okay, still waiting. We need an update. We need an update.
And under the employment of Diddy for that 2-year time period. And so whenever he got on the stand again, George Kaplan, for the most part, he is kind of medium built, a little stocky. And when I had noticed him taking the stand outside of the presence of the jury, I saw him and Diddy kind of look at each other. George Kaplan smiled at him, Diddy smiled back. And so there seemed like familiarity about him to him. So when he announced himself as a former executive assistant of Diddy and working for the Combs Enterprise per se, then I was like, okay, he's another staff member, because sometimes you just never know who these people are and who's going to be testifying in this trial. And so as far as George Kaplan, today he was questioned by Maureen Comey.
Update: in the middle of Kid Cudi cross by Brian Steele, judge responds for second or third time to inner city press unsealing docketing requests. Docket 336 now saying letters must be in docket in real time. So they want the letters posted in the public docket. That's cool. That's cool. We need some real time action, man. They should have at least let us have audio for the courtroom. Young Thug. That's how we get down, man. Young Thug, Brian Steele. Get that man some dreads. Get that man his dreads. Brian Steele, give him his flowers. You need to come in here hard and tear this guy apart. You gotta tear Kid Cudi apart. Justin Bieber, if he testifying, I don't know. That'd be cool if he is. Imagine that, Justin Bieber. Down, 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 down. Bro, 50 Cent just posted. 50. NYPD, NNPD. What the F Diddy did to Kid Cudi's dog over the girl, man. LOL. Damn. How you gonna do Kid Cudi's dog like that? Damn. Diddy. The diddler, man. What happened? How you gonna do that with the dog, bro? Who knows what he did to that? God only knows what he did to that dog, man. Them freak off boys. Them freak off boys don't play. God only knows what he did to that dog. Jeez. So he goes on to say, Steele, but she never said she was sexually abused. True? She did not. You loved her. Tell me if I'm wrong. I did. Whew. You got played like a fiddle by the same person who played Combs. Ooh, Cassie Ventura. Oh, shit. Tell it. Tell it, Pimpin'. Yes, Pimpin'. Yes, Daddy.
Daddy, I like when you scrambling and scraping for shit.
Yes. Damn. Is he jilted? Is Kid Cudi still jilted over this shit? Cassie got all these men wrapped up around her fingers. The escorts, the strippers that thought they fell in love with the client. God. Wow. Cassie was putting it down, man. All these men going to war and shit over Cassie. Wow. And now she married with 3 kids. Oh. You went to see him. You didn't think he had a gun. I couldn't call it. Cassie told you she was abused. Yes. But she never said she was sexually abused. True. She did not. You loved her. Tell me if I'm wrong. I did love her. You got played like an instrument, like a fiddle, like a side piece, like a tool used to further herself with Mr. Combs' life. Mm. They won't earn points with this. Objection! Yeah, where's it coming? It's coming. Damn, he making Cassie like the evil villain. Making Cassie the villain is a bad look for defense. Nah, man, fuck it. You gotta go. Steal is steal. You gotta go in hard. I wasn't expecting this. Lawyer using Kid Cudi wound against him and scoring points on Cassie too. Steal, this was weak. I'm sorry. Yeah, right. She played Diddy with the baby oil. Shame on you, Brian. Victim blaming? Is this victim blaming in 4K? How dare you? It's disgusting. Combs' defense Steele says, in the 13 years, have you ever been notified in California that there has been any more action on this car fire? No. Did Cassie have multiple phones? I don't remember. 35 to 12? If I said it, I said it. Wait, what am I? 35 to 12 phones? If I said it, I said it. Dang. 13 years. So they didn't, this was never, nothing, no action was ever taken. That man, you can't even question Cassie about what happened. How dare victim blame it? God forbid you even ask the question about what happened. Doing his job as a defense attorney. Miss Ventura had multiple phones. I don't remember. 35 to 12. If I said it, I said it. Oh, because maybe this is previous, some type of testimony or something, or some type of, somewhere he said that before. How she got 35 to 12 phones? Jeez. If I said it, I said it. Do you know what a burner phone is? Cudi says untraceable. The trespass, you call it a break-in. Cassie told you she'd given your home address to Mr. Combs. Oh, yes, in the morning. No more questions. Wow, she gave the address to Diddy? So what's she gonna say? She felt afraid and threatened, so she had to get that. Yo, she gave the address? Damn, did she know about this too? That was gonna happen? Ooh. Trying to say Cassie set him up. So she did let him in. That's not a break-in. They worked together. Probably. They're so toxic. They're so toxic. I wouldn't be surprised they did that shit together. Yeah, you light this shit up. I'm gonna watch in the corner while I take care of myself. I wouldn't be surprised. She probably found that as a turn on. When you're in that toxic shit, that's just a turn on for them. She gave the address and they went both burned that shit. And she got Diddy back in her palms where she wanted him. Wow. No sense. That's just weird, man. I don't know. I feel like Steele could have gone deeper though, but I guess he felt that was enough and effective. But it does kind of like almost imply as if like some type of setup where she knew or something, or like she was cool with it. I don't know. Judge says redirect. Prosecution says, what did Miss Ventura confide in you about? Her abuse. That he would hit her, sometimes kick her. The day of the break-in, was she carefree? No. Okay. So they're trying to clean it up. They're coming back, cleaning it up, and saying that, to try to like say she wasn't involved in this, I guess. Prosecution says, what did Capricorn Clark tell you? Sean Combs and an affiliate forced her into a car to come to my house. I called the... Oh, so they're trying to clean it up and say Cassie had anything to do with it. She was forced. They were forced her to come to my house. I called the police. Prosecution says, how would you describe Cassie that day? Cudi says, just really shook. Him finding out about us. Exactly. Anyone with a brain cell can see she was forced to go to his house by Diddy. The defense is grasping at straws. Call Capricorn ass up to the stand then. She got some splaining to do. That'd be a lie. He says this on every post though. Cassie isn't the one in prison. They're gonna have to call Capricorn Clark. I feel like that's a thing too. Sometimes with these situations, man, all these people are collateral damage around Diddy and Cassie. They're all collateral damage because they were in some really toxic, crazy ass relationship, and all these people were just tools and pieces that were at some point taken in and thrown and discarded like trash. And still to this day being dragged through the mud. And they probably still love each other and care about each other. Zed. They probably love each other. Well, she says that she don't hate him is what she said. Because those escorts are catching feelings too. That's wild, yo. Prosecution says, what did your relationship with Miss Ventura end? Why? Why did your relationship end? Cudi said the drama was getting out of hand. I wanted to give space. What drama? Cudi said the break-in for my safety, her safety. Combs Steele says, objection. Justice grounds speculation. Overruled. So they broke up. Because this shit was crazy. Nobody want to deal with that. This shit is crazy. Your car's getting burned down. Your house is getting broken into or walked into. At that time, Cassie would have burned this guy if she had to. I mean, whoever she had to burn, Diddy obviously too. But at the time, anybody around her or Diddy is collateral damage. So he knew he had to get away from this crazy stuff. Like this was just out of control, out of hand. Homeboy put a hit on you. Go over there moving the cameras around, doing something to your dog. Dog's traumatized and shaking. Why did you have safety concerns? Cudi says, because I knew Sean Combs was violent. Ooh. Combs Steele, the defense attorney, says, Your Honor, may we approach? Sidebar. Still bad for Diddy, though. Still bad for Diddy. Legend, what's up? They should not go for Diddy, man. They should not go for him. So did Brian Steele catch a W or he caught an L? Somebody said this was the most powerful witness. I don't think so. The most powerful witness? Cassie might be, maybe, but this all strengthens her case, I guess. Brian needs to be put on timeout. Of course, they would want a sidebar with the word violent affiliated with Diddy. He was violent. He seemed like it. Yeah, he was a violent motherfucker. He was crazy. Didn't he bitch slapped Drake? He slapped him so hard he sprained his arm or his shoulder or some shit. Slapped the shit out of Drake. Slapped his ass and nothing about it. I think it was over the 0 to 100 song, but then they try to clear it up and be like, "Oh, he didn't hit me," What did Drake say? He fell or something. Another victim. He fell or slipped or some shit. Slapped the shit out of Drake. Diddy's crazy, man. Diddy don't play. Somebody sprained his arm and shit in the club. So they approached at a sidebar because the word violent was used. Not Diddy getting his ass slapped. Ooh. There's so much news going on, though. I need to take a nap for the day. Little mini nap. I guess when they go to lunch break. Looks like they might be done with him soon, though. Kid Cudi. Maybe they'll finish before the lunch break. P-Roll did an interview with Carisha. Please podcast. And he called the bartender Frank Love, and he talks about having money and control. Ooh. He abused Kim too, really? Damn, Diddy, man. Diddy, it's not looking good, man.
By Brian Steele, who, as we all know, made quite a name for himself in the Young Thug trial. He's representing Sean Combs here. And when he questioned Scott Muscuddy, he was talking about, that Ventura, who he had this relationship with, she had disclosed to him that, yes, Sean Combs was physically abusive towards her, but never admitted that he was sexually abusive, that he never sexually abused her. But according to him, Cassandra Ventura had said that he kicked her, hit her, different things of that nature. He really focused in on the idea that Cassandra Ventura was essentially devious, that she was sneaky, that she played him, she stopped talking to him, that she had multiple burner phones. That seems to be a common theme from the defense, that you can't really trust Cassandra Ventura, that she might have played Sean Combs and she played you, Mr. Scott Muscuddy. And there was also a further questioning about how this fire investigation was never fully investigated in the 13.
Okay, so what happened here now? Prosecution says the meeting at the Soho House. Mr. Combs said, I don't know what you're talking about your car. Did you believe him? Objection, Mr. Steele says. Judge says, rephrase. What was your understanding? Cudi says that he was lying. Obviously. No further questions. Oof. Any recross? No, Your Honor. Kid Cudi, you're done. That's it. That's it. That's it. Leaves. Judge break. That's a lunch break. So I don't know what I think about Kid Cudi. I thought it was, the car thing is damning. You're a psychopath. You could almost kill somebody. You probably wouldn't be surprised if you killed before. You're psycho. Controlling psycho. Violent. Kid Cudi.
13 years since this happened. So you can see where the defense is going with this. Again, very, very important witness. I can't wait to have Elizabeth Milner come on, talk to us about what she saw and what she heard. But I'll tell you what, I think he just wrapped up his testimony, so we're going to wait to see Elizabeth come out. Maybe they'll go on a break soon, and we'll talk more about it. But I'm going to take your questions as we get them in real time, as we wait for our guests also. Chris Bono, how likely is it that Combs walks free and the prosecution doesn't pursue another case against him? Well, let's talk about it. I don't think they're going to pursue state charges against him. That's one of the reasons why they went with the federal case. That's why they have brought these kind of unique federal charges, because the statute of limitations has ran on state charges. One of the reasons he hasn't been brought up on charges regarding to the 2016 hotel incident, it's too old. Federal charges, look, if you're the federal government and you charge Sean Combs and he's been hit with a number of superseding indictments, my analysis would be whatever you had against him, you would have already charged him with. You wouldn't go and wait for another federal case. It seems to me, and there was a lot of discussion because he had been hit with allegations at the civil level. He'd been sued about allegations regarding minors. Now, I've talked about it before. I'll talk about it again. If you introduce minors into a federal case, it changes everything because consent goes out the window.
Twitch, I'll catch you later, Twitch.
Here, it doesn't work with minors. I think they are hitting him with everything they possibly have, which means if he's acquitted of these charges, I can't say that the feds have more charges to go against him with. I don't think that they do. I think they're putting everything they can right now.
Everything.
The likelihood that he walks
the
free,
kitchen sink.
Racketeering, sex trafficking, these are very, very specific crimes, high burden, very specific elements, with sex trafficking, force, fraud, coercion, commercial sex acts. There's a transportation element, racketeering, criminal enterprise, common purpose. There's a conspiracy. There's a criminal agreement. There's underlying predicate.
Everything, baby, everything.
There were analysts who say that at this point in the trial, the prosecution's already proved sex trafficking and racketeering. Maybe not. Now, there is another charge. Transportation to engage in prostitution carries up to 10 years in prison. I think there is a fair argument to say that they've already proven that. And that's basically that the prosecution has to establish that Combs, by the way, this is a shot right now of Scott Mescudi leaving the courtroom. You can see what he was wearing and what he was testifying in. Yeah, pretty incredible to see this. Again, one of the high-profile celebrities to take the stand in this trial. We'll see who else might do this. But also, so we're talking about this, right? Transportation to engage in prostitution, basically transporting sex workers and victims with the intent for prostitution. If you listen to the testimony that's come out so far, the idea that Sean Combs and Cassie were paying sex workers and she was being transported to different places to engage in freak-offs, and at least one of the sex workers was being used in different cities, you might have a conviction right there. I think that's a hard charge to argue against. Okay, more questions. Vanessa, are they going to have Diddy's drug...
Is Cassie going to be charged next?
Brendan Paul, who was arrested back when...
All right, I'm going to get off and take a break. I'm going to relax, man. I think I might try to take a little mini nap. We'll see what happens this afternoon. There is several stories that I want to update. Several of them. So I'm going to keep those on the side, and we'll see what we can cover today, later. At least 2, maybe 3. All right. Take care, guys. Thank you so much. Love you. Bye. Peace. Bloop, 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 bloop. Bloop. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Bye.